Hello, welcome once again to Let's Talk Marriage. This is Pastor Wilson or Pastor Larry coming to you once again on this Wednesday morning, November the 10th. Hey, wow, right, all right. This is my birthday month, y'all. Just throwing it out there. All right, we're going to get right on into it. Our subject on today is Let's Talk It Out. This is a good one. This is Pastor Larry once again coming to you on this Wednesday morning with Let's Talk Marriage. Our subject today again is Let's Talk It Out. Now, married couples. Most of the time we have arguments is generally something stupid or something that don't make sense. And when you think about it, like sometime later, like what was the argument? You can't even remember what it was about. Remember what the argument was about. Most of the fights don't make sense. Most of the arguments don't make sense. Most of the subject matter that initiated it, didn't make sense. Sometimes it's just something silly. And a lot of times for those that go to church, it's usually on a Sunday morning. Somebody's running late. The sister got to run in a stocking. So y'all running late. He trying to get there on time or she trying to get there on time. Somebody that made somebody late. Somebody that said something. And now you're driving on the way to church. Not even talking. What kind of mess is that? That's a mess. You looking out the window, you driving. Then you turn the music up a little louder. It is gospel music. Wait a minute. That don't make sense. You mad, but you're going to turn the gospel music up louder so you won't have to hear what he got to say. And stop bringing up old stuff. A lot of times, that's what a lot of the arguments start out with, something you done brought up that happened years ago. There was a reason why it happened years ago. It was in the past. Leave it in the past. Let it go. Some of us just be hanging on to stuff and you remember when you said this to me and you looked at her a certain way and come on, y'all. Come on. Just remember, how you got that husband and what it took to get him and how you got that wife, and how you guys were. You so lovey-dovey in the beginning. You couldn't take your eyes off each other. You walk in a room, be looking at each other, and you just proud to tell people, that's my husband. That's my husband. You can probably, yeah, man, that's my lady. That's my main lady. That's my wife, man. That's my wife, man. That's the missus. He was just so proud. And all of a sudden, just, kids come along, y'all start getting arguments and and then the finances, then folks, how folks be arguing over finances. That's another major argument. But life is too short for all that. Just let that stuff go. Stop bringing it up. If you forgave him for some stuff that happened in the past, why are you bringing it up again? What are you bringing it up for? Leave that mess in the past. And then you start saying things, mean. Because a lot of times folks say, you meant it, you said it. No, sometimes when you're mad, you just say stuff to come off the top of your head. Especially if you feel like the other person's winning the argument or they got one up on you. You just reach way down and bring up something stupid. So you can just shut them up. Say, yeah, I shut her up. I told her who the boss is. No, stop it, people. it. Make some sense. Leave the things that, you know what, when you forgive someone, you have to forgive them and learn how to move on. Don't be lingering back and looking back. You know, things that you should look back on, you don't look back on. Like, for instance, if you went on a vacation a few years ago or even last year and you had a nice time, if you feel in one of those moments, just pull out that or pull up the pictures and start looking at the pictures together. That'll give you something neutral to talk about because you know you both enjoyed the vacation. That's why it's important to get away with you and your spouse. Don't be just going around the corner. Just take them somewhere exotic or take them somewhere they've never been before. And I had mentioned it before, when you're going down south, that ain't really no vacation. You just going to visit. It's a visit, you know. 'Cause when you go on vacation, most of the time you don't really know nobody in the area that you're going to. Then that's a vacation, where just the two of you or just you and your family. And you have the family vacation, then you have the vacation with just you and your wife. And that, you know, that breaks up a whole lot of things that could have been happening. Like you could have been home arguing and carrying on. And again, most of the time these arguments start on the weekends. For some reason, folks just get into it on the weekend or around holidays. Says y'all cheap brothers, you think of something to argue about around Valentine's Day so you don't have to get no present. Then you come back a day later after all the stuff is on clearance with them little flowers. You didn't want to buy them on Valentine's Day because they're too expensive. The 2 dozen roses are over $100 in a nice vase and stuff. So you figure you bring up some mess. I see you out there. You bring up some mess so you won't have to get nothing on that day. Then after everything go on clearance, you come marching in there with the old flowers. You didn't got down at the jewel. Hey, baby, I'm sorry. You know I ain't mean that. Y'all brother, stop being so cheap with these women. You know, spend some money on them sometime. You used to do that when before you got married. You was always taking them someplace nice. Now all of a sudden you want to go to just a big date night with your wife. You want to go to Red Lobster. There's other seafood places other than Red Lobster, brother. Make sure you take them somewhere nice, and that breaks up a lot of monotonous so you won't be arguing a lot and stuff, especially those. And don't be afraid, if you're arguing or not getting along with your spouse. Do not be afraid to get marriage counseling. Marriage counseling has helped a whole lot of marriages. And sometimes you just need someone neutral to talk to, because if you go talk to his mama, she gonna be on his side or on your side, or if he go talk to his mama, she gonna be on his side or her side. But if you go talk to a marriage counselor, they're gonna be neutral, and it's not gonna be on it, and both of you can talk it out. And that's one of the main reasons why a lot of people have arguments. They don't want to talk it out. And I don't mean argue it out. I mean talk it out. So you sit down and talk and discuss some things. Like, I have some concerns. And just discuss some things. With your spouse, and you find out when you discuss things with them, you'll learn more about each other. And one of the main reasons why a lot of people don't get along with their spouses, they don't really know, And just because you grew up with somebody or knew somebody from back in the day, that don't mean you really know. You don't really learn people until you marry with them or until you live. It's like they used to say, you don't know a person until you live with them. When you got two different people, most of the time from two different backgrounds, they sharing a house, and during the pandemic, they were cooped up in there Somebody gonna get on somebody's nerves. But you have to find alternatives to things like that by going out and spending some time with quality time with each other. And that don't mean you always spend time away from each other. Because if you start spending time away from each other just for relief, that you got an issue there. Because then when you be around the person, you're gonna start feeling even more miserable because you're around them. Learn how to spend time with each other. Because when you spend time with each other, you'll learn how to get along with each other. And you'll learn how to talk with each other, learn how to listen to each other. Sometimes, when you have that conversation with your wife, she's going to say some stuff that they're going to just going to get that. But, if you just sit there and listen, you don't always have to be boisterous or always have to have your opinion out there. And some people just don't want to be wrong. They always got to be right. That's how a lot of arguments start, because the one party always got to be right, no matter what. And you tell them one thing, they go look it up, go Google it. Yes, I Googled it, and you told me the wrong information. Even if you Google it, you ain't got to go back and tell them about it. Try to make a brother look bad. Try to make a sister look bad. Yeah, I Googled it. That ain't how you supposed to fix that. We just get into arguments over the dumbest things. And try to remember only the good times, because if you harp on things from the past, the bad things from the past, harp on the good things from the past. The first time you met, the first time you went out, the day you got married, how the engagement went. Just focus on that thing, on things like that, and you will be able to get back. And remember how you fell in love with each other. Remember how you met. Remember how you had to be on the phone with that other party, and late in the night you were talking on the phone. Nobody wanted to hang up. Just remember things like that. Stop harping on all the bad stuff that happened. And that's what us do. We just bring up and we have the tendency to remember the craziest stuff. And just because you remember that don't mean you got to bring it up. Because you bring it up in the middle of a discussion, they're gonna lead to an argument. And don't be saying, well, you used to do it. And some people get in arguments because the other person can't hang their coat up or hang their clothes up. Well, you left yours out the other day, and I didn't say nothing. Oh, wow. And then you argue again over money and stuff. Don't let that be. And a lot of marriages break up over finances and things. And don't bring other people in there. Now, if you had in a relationship with someone that stepped outside of the marriage and you decided to forgive them, but you have to forgive them and move on. Don't keep bringing it up, because if you keep bringing it up, you're stepping backwards instead of moving forward. So and then if something like that happens, a lot of times, what you would need to do is have them go to marriage counseling, because when you go to marriage counseling, you can talk those things out and have discussions on why it happened, and just work it out. But don't be bringing it up all the time. And when you get in an argument, you got to bring that up again. But you forgave them. That's not really forgive. When you forgive someone, you don't bring up the old stuff. Bring up old stuff that's good, like something that was funny. Bring that up. Don't be bringing up all the bad stuff. And people tend to remember bad things before they remember good things. And sometimes when good things happen, you don't even hear nothing about it. For instance, if you go to a store and you got good customer service, and the clerk was just wonderful, and and had a nice conversation, you most of the time you won't even tell anybody about that. But go to a store where the clerk was nasty and ignored you, was talking across the aisle to the other clerk, and you're going to tell everybody about that. Yeah, I went there. I ain't never going back there no more, because she was mean, and I was trying to ask her a question, and she just put me on Front Street. You get real mad about that. You just tell everybody bad news go around faster than good news. And when good things happen, remember that. Talk about that. Bring that up. Bring up the funny things that happen in your relationship instead of all the negative stuff. Leave the negative stuff in the past. Don't be bringing that negative stuff up. And again, don't be afraid to go to marriage counseling. If you run in a situation where you talk to your pastor, you talk to other senior couples, and it still seems to be some issues, don't be afraid to go to a marriage counselor, because when you seek marriage counseling, a lot of times they can pull out the root of all the negative things that happen. And when you kill the root of a negative thing, it's subject or never come back again, because you've killed the root of that problem. And that's what we need to do, find the root of a lot of issues that are in these marriages, especially if you still love the person. If you still love the person, sometimes marriage is not easy, but it's what we make it. If we make it hard, it's going to be hard. If we make it easy, it's going to be easy. Just have a good time. Enjoy your spouse. I enjoy my spouse every day, and I always find the things that she do that's funny, and how she goes about it. It just gives me joy. I enjoy being with her, and again, we never have arguments. We might have disagreements, but we never have like blown out argument where you throwing glasses and breaking stuff and tearing up some stuff, throwing clothes out there. No, we don't do all that. No. We don't do that. We just have a good time enjoying each other and enjoying each other's company. You have to learn how to enjoy your spouse's company. Your spouse should be your best friend, and my spouse is truly my best friend. This is Pastor Larry signing off once again. So let's talk it out. Once again, let's talk it out. This is Pastor Larry signing off once again. Let's talk marriage. Now remember, talk it out.